Perform qualitative risk analysis is the process of prioritizing risk events for further analysis or action by assessing their combined probability of occurrence and impact, as well as other characteristics. Within this process, we'll be having a series of specialized meetings where we'll be conducting this analysis. These specialized meetings are called risk workshops. We will be performing multiple types of data analysis as part of this process, including a risk probability and impact assessment. This is where we can investigate the likelihood of risk occurrence and its potential impact should it occur. We also need to perform a risk data quality assessment. This verifies the quality of data that was used to identify risks. It's very important that we do have a high quality of risk data, otherwise, we have a chance of introducing uncertainty into our analysis of uncertainty. Assessment of other risk parameters. At a very basic level, probability and impact are useful in determining the priority of risk events within a project. However, there are many other characteristics that should be taken into consideration. Some of these characteristics include urgency, which is the period of time within which a response to the risk is to be implemented in order to be effective. Proximity, which is the period of time before the risk might have an impact on one or more project objectives. Manageability, the ease with which the risk owner can manage the occurrence or impact of a risk. Dormancy, which is the period of time that may elapse after a risk has occurred before its impact is discovered. Controllability, which is the degree to which the risk owner is able to control the risk's outcome. Detectability, the ease with which the results of the risk occurring or about to occur can be detected and recognized. Connectivity, the extent to which the risk is related to other individual project risk. Strategic impact, the potential for the risk to have a positive or negative effect on the organization's strategic goals. And finally, propinquity, the degree to which the risk is perceived to matter by one or more stakeholders. Obviously, the stakeholders' opinion on this is going to be highly subjective and based upon not only their own personal priorities, but also their own personal risk tolerance levels. The risk categorization is something that we should have defined as part of our risk management plan. Data representation is often done using a probability and impact matrix, and we have an example of one on the page 408 of the Guide to the PMBOK. Using this matrix, we can assign a risk rating to each new risk event. This could either be numeric or a low, medium, high, depending how the template was laid out as part of the risk management plan. We can also use a variety of hierarchical charts, which are very useful when more than just two parameters are used, such as probability and impact. The outputs of this process are project documents updates. With the assumptions log, we may identify new assumptions as part of this process, or we may have more information available for existing assumptions and we may want to go ahead and update it accordingly. The risk register should be updated as well with the new information that we have after conducting our analysis. The relative probability and impacts of individual risks can lead to a new priority level or risk score. By this time, a risk owner should be assigned to each individual risk event. Risk urgency or categorization should also be done. For any risk event that is deemed to be a low priority based upon a low score for probability and impact, we could go ahead and place it onto a watch list. This watch list will have a watch list owner who will conduct regular periodic reassessments at a frequency determined as part of the risk management plan. Should any of these risks event change significantly enough, it could be removed from the watch list and have an individual risk owner assigned. With the issue log, if we have any type of new issues uncovered as part of this process, we would want to document that as well. And finally, the risk report. We will update the risk report to reflect all of the new information that we have about individual project risk, especially those that have very high probability and impact. We've just finished discussing perform qualitative risk analysis. Quick learning assessment. Describe the purpose of this process in your own words. The purpose of this process is to prioritize a list of risks based upon probability and impact that were defined in the identify risk process. Where do the probability and impact matrices come from? The matrices come from the risk management plan. Will we use the same probability impact matrix for every project objective? No, we will not use the same matrix for every objective. What do we do with risks that score very low on probability and impact? Those scoring low on probability and impact will go on the watch list. The specialized meeting dedicated to the discussion of identified individual project risks is often called a risk workshop. What are some other factors which should be considered when assessing risk? Other factors when assessing risk include urgency, proximity, manageability, dormancy, controllability, detectability, connectivity, strategic impact, and propinquity.